Alright, so we have packet tracer final part for us to really understand and hammer down subnetting by showing you all packet tracer activity that you were supposed to design before. Here we have two networks. Here we have the green network, right? Now we have the yellow network with a router in between these two networks. We have an IP address that is assigned to us, 192.168.4.0. Alright. We have our configuration tasks on hand, but before we look at the configuration tasks, there are some key elements that we have to take into consideration first before we move on. For example, for IP version 4 addressing scheme for each network, be it the green and the yellow network, given this number that we have 192, and I'm going to put it up here in my plane, 192.168.4.0, and right now it is a /24. They ask for this network to be divided or subdivided into 4 equal size networks. Right, so to have it in 4 equal size network, we know that the magic number have to be 26. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. First octet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next octet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, and the other host portions are 0. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know from the onset that the magic number is 64 in order for us to get 4 equal networks as the beginning of our step 1 of this tutorial. Right? So we know now that it will be a slash. So it will be 192.168.4.0, right, /26, right, because we borrowed 26, or we borrowed 2 extra bits, I should say, on the last octet. Right, so we know that the networks increment by 64 because of the magic number. So our next network will be 192.168.4.64, and this again here is a /26, and the other one will be 192.168.4.128. again this will be /26 classless, and 192.168.4.192 /26. Right, so first and foremost we fulfill the first task in dividing the networks up into 4 equal size, right, in terms of the subnets. The second task asks us to use the second subnet for the green network. So the second subnet, which is this one here, goes up to, it begins at 64 as the network ID and ends at 127. So this here would be our green network. Alright, this would be our green network here. The other task access now, which is basically task 3, is to use the 4th subnet to create 4 smaller networks, right, and each of 14 hosts each. Use the first of the smaller subnet to be the yellow network. So first and foremost, we will use the last subnet first to divide up for 14 hosts each. You're going to take this subnet here, right, which is 192, and we would again, they ask for 14 hosts, so which means we have to borrow. So we're going to do this by scratch, which is this network, this last subnet we're using here. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, that's 24, and then we're going to borrow 4 bits. That will give us the magic number of 16. Right, be it that is 14 hosts they are asking for, so they will get 14 hosts because one number will go towards the host portion, and the other one will go towards the broadcast, well, not the host portion, the network ID, and the other one will go towards the broadcast ID. So you will have basically 14 hosts. So because this is the magic number, this is 16, what we're going to do now, as the other task asks us here below here, is to use the first of the smaller subnet for the yellow network. So let's first and foremost see which our networks are incremented by, because we're beginning at 192. Right? And pay attention that we cannot use any one of these numbers here in between, because we have actually subnetted further the last network. So our first subnet on this last subnet here of the major subnet, or something like supernetting, would be 192.168.4.192, right? And this will go all the way up to 207, right? And this will be a /28. And our next IP address will be 192.168.4.208, because we're incrementing by 16, right? And then the other one will be 192.168.4.224, right? And the last one will be 192.168.4.240, and all this will be /28. Because at a /28 we are actually borrowing 4 bits, and our magic number is 16. Now pay attention, they say use the first of the smaller subnet to be the yellow network. So this here would be considered our yellow network, right? So I'm going to write out this a little bit more. This would be our green network here, in summary. And this here will be our yellow network. Right? So we have completed that first task in terms of subnetting this IP address that was given to us, 192.168.4.0. It was given to us, and they asked us for several questions. Several questions was asked, I should say. First to divide it into 4 subnets, and we arrive at the magic number of 64, and then they asked us with the last subnet subnetted further into 14 hosts, which means that gives us a magic number of 16. So you get 14 hosts if we have this this magic number of 16, because one of them will go towards the network ID and the other one will go towards the broadcast IP. Alright, so the ranges of IP addresses that we're going to be using would be 192.168.4.64 for the green network up to 127, and there have not been any overlapping of the other network, which is the yellow network, that begins at 192 and ends at 207.